there, I'm Jennifer Valor, productivity coach and your host of the Child Free Biz Cafe, the podcast where child-free entrepreneurs redefine success on their terms. In each episode, I sit down with inspiring business owners and creators, exploring their unique journeys, challenges, triumphs, and lessons learned. Passionate about the incredible fulfillment of the child-free lifestyle, we'll chat over your favorite coffee or tea in our virtual cafe. From entrepreneurs to artists, we uncover secrets to success, share practical tips, and celebrate diverse paths in the child-free life. Get ready for insightful conversations, empowering stories, and a community that embraces their child-free life. This is the Child-Free Biz Cafe, where fulfillment and happiness meets entrepreneurship. Today, I'm talking to Katie Tovey-Grindlay, Child-Free by Choice, social media and marketing coach and consultant. Hi, Katie. Thank you so much for being here.
Hello. Well, thank you so much for having me on. It is such a treat to be talking to you today.
Yeah, I'm really excited for your topic today. But first, tell us about yourself.
So I'm Katie. I've been running my own businesses for the last 12 years. Before that, I used to be in the Royal Navy. I am a self-confessed crazy dog lady. I have 3 of my own dogs. And as you can probably tell from my accent, I live in the UK.
Awesome. I didn't know you were on the Royal Guard. That's so cool.
Yeah. I was in the Royal Navy. Yes, so I used to be on aircraft carriers and sail the sea.
So share with us your child-free journey.
So I think from a very early age that I knew that I didn't ever want children. I remember being, I think, in like school, probably, I don't know, maybe around the age of 12, and I just knew children were not going to be part of my life. And everyone around me was saying, oh, you'll change your mind. And it's funny, actually, it was people that didn't really know me would say that. All my family were like, okay, that's cool. We're like, okay, if that's your decision, yeah, that's fine. But it was the people that didn't really know me and people who maybe have had jobs over the years and it's come up and they're, oh, you'll change your mind. Oh yeah, my daughter was the same. And I was like, okay, if I do, I do. But I recently turned 40 and I still have the same opinion. I knew I haven't made the right decision. And when actually I met my husband, I think on our second date, I said to him, by the way, I don't want children. So at this point, we were in our mid-20s. And I was like, by the way, I don't want children. He was like, oh, all right, see the point of them. I was like, brilliant. Okay, I think this is the one for me. So yeah, I guess I've always known that I didn't ever want children.
You're not the only one, which has been really interesting for how young. But then looking back for myself, I'm like, yeah, I was fairly young when I knew too. But it took me all these years to realize that. But again, that's just one of those things when you know, you just know.
Yeah. And I like to compare it to, some people know when they're really little that they want to be like a doctor or a lawyer. And I feel like it's just the same as that, like,
Yeah. So how has being child-free impacted your business and life?
Well, I guess it's allowed me to be a bit more selfish with my time because obviously my time constraints, it's just me, my husband, and my dog. So I guess I don't have all of those time constraints. If I want to work on a morning, I can. I haven't got to stop and do like the school run. Nothing gets in the way if, I want to, change locations because thankfully my business isn't dependent on a location. I can go and book a holiday and I haven't got to think about, is it school holidays? Is it school term time? And I can just take my laptop with me and I don't have any guilt. I can just start working and I've escaped the cold grey winter of the UK and I've gone somewhere nice and warm, and I just feel like I've got very little constraints and I just feel like that's been a massive blessing to me.
Yeah, having that flexibility and being able to be spontaneous, that is so feels so good. Having that freedom.
Yeah, yeah. And it's kind of like, yeah, you can wake up and go, oh, should we go here today? And we go, yeah, okay. And we literally just chuck the dogs in the car and off we go. That's it. We don't have to, like, there's no other thinking.
Yeah. So I was looking through your Instagram and your newsletter and everything, and I want you to share your mission for your business. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, so for me, I work with service-based business owners and I really want them to be able to do social media in a way that's really fun, it's joyful, but in their own way. So we're literally taking that rule book about social media that we have inside of our heads and like, taking it out, ripping it up, I don't know, throwing it out the window, putting it on fire, and just really do social media in our own way. What feels good for us, what feels right for us, not trying to fit in with, someone else's version of how to market your business.
Yeah, I love that because if it feels so forced, then it's just not as fun. And we'll get into that too in a minute, but you have to do it a certain way. It just makes it a lot harder.
Yeah, and I feel like social media, it's such a creative process.
Hmm.
So actually, we need that time and that space to allow us to be ourselves and to create, what we feel is our vision. Like if you ask like different artists, like, can you paint me, I don't know, that landscape, it's all going to look completely different because
Right.
they've all done it in their own style. And I feel like that's what we should be doing as business owners. We're allowed to have our own style.
Right. And how do we find our style?
So I think we find our own style, but I actually like thinking what brings me joy, what feels easy, what doesn't feel forced.
How do we figure out our style when we're creating content?
So I think it's finding out what brings you joy, what feels easy, and that could be a particular social media platform. So rather than, I think people in the past have said, oh, find what social media platform your ideal client is on. But actually, it's 2024, like people are everywhere on
Hmm.
social media. So I feel like it's really important that you find the social media platform that actually you like using, you like hanging out on, because you're going to have to spend decent time on that platform building up a community. So I think it's really, really important that you actually like being there. For example, I don't like LinkedIn. I don't know why. It makes me feel really cringy. And I I like being on Instagram. So guess what? I'm on Instagram for my
Yeah.
business and I'm not on, you don't really do anything with LinkedIn. And then as well, it's about finding how you like creating content. Do you really like being on video, or do you like creating videos? Do you like creating graphics, or maybe you love taking photos and you want to, post photos?
Hmm.
So I think it's all about finding actually what you really like enjoying and how you like to express yourself, and also obviously where you like to hang out online.
Yeah. I would have never thought I would be on YouTube. It's just so foreign to me because I've always been a writer, and then writing takes too long. I could just transcribe a video. I could pull the audio out of it. It's just so much easier for me to do YouTube. And I'm only on Facebook because that's where I meet everybody. But yeah,
Mm,
like you, I like Instagram too because it's very visual. I do like playing in Canva for graphics. So I totally get that.
yeah, yeah. For sure. There's no wrong or right answer as well, which I love.
Yeah. So being child free, we have so much value to add to the world, no matter what society or anyone else tells you. What tips do you have for other child-free business owners and creators to have the courage and just be brave and start weaving their child-free story and lifestyle within their expertise into their content?
Yeah, so I think it's really important that we are ourselves online. And so whether that is you've got 25 children or you've got zero children and that's your choice.
Hmm.
because as well, like, people connect with people. People are interested in people. And I don't know about you, but like some of the business owners that I have found online, I remember them because of the stories they've told me. And I think that's really empowering and also leaves that lasting impression for the business owner and obviously for the person who's listening to the story. So I definitely think we can add our value just by being ourselves and going, this is me. And it's great because you'll either repel people or attract people. And obviously you will attract the people that totally get you and relate to you, which is what we want. And we're going to repel people that you maybe don't resonate with us, or we don't have anything in common with them, or don't agree with us. And that's absolutely fine as well.
Right. I think that's another main reason why I wanted to start this series, this podcast, because I wanted to be able to share more child-free people's stories. Because, yeah, we can be fulfilled and happy without kids. And yeah, look at us thrive.
Yeah.
I know it took me a while to figure out, to finally get comfortable into starting to talk about being child-free more online. But as soon as I finally just went all in on realizing child-free community is my ideal client and started sharing my story a lot more, it has, oh my gosh, it feels so different and it feels so much easier because it's more exciting because I'm actually talking about and creating things that I enjoy and I feel
Yeah.
like I'm being more my whole self. So
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think that's the thing as well. Like you like hit the nail on the head. Like when you can show up as you, everything just feels so much easier. Everything, like what you offer, you want to help, the content that you create, everything just becomes so much easier.
Yeah. So, what are some questions to ask yourself when you feel like your content isn't working? Making all this content, but it's not. No, we shouldn't focus on how many comments or likes or whatever, because I've realized I have a ton of lurkers, and that's okay. We got to remember we've got a lot of lurkers. But how do we create the content to where they eventually become clients?
Yeah, great question. So if we're putting out content and it's not working, so it usually means that maybe our messaging needs tweaking. It could be that we've not got enough of us within the content. And I always like to ask myself, like, have I given this actually long enough to actually work? Because if you're saying like, well, I've put out 3 posts in the last 2 weeks and it's not working, well, yeah, you've not put enough content out.
Hmm.
But if you've been like, well, I've been posting consistently for 3 months and it's not working, then that's the time to do something. And I also say as well, is this not working, or are you just not being patient? Because I think in this world where we've got everything at our fingertips, we can order something and it's with us the next day. Sometimes,
Hmm.
it's with us that later on that day, that evening. I think we forget that, still don't come
It
straight
takes time.
away. It takes time. Yes. I would like to remind myself of that quite a lot.
Trust the process.
Absolutely.
So what if you're just been creating, pumping out a lot of content, and then you're just so burnt out on making content and you just want to focus on one platform, repurpose what you already have, and then have more focus on building relationships?
That is a great question. Yes. So if you're feeling burnt out and like you don't want to be creating more and more and more content, that I would definitely say, let's see what we can repurpose with the content that you've already put out. And I would say, can you turn a piece of content into different pieces of content? So perhaps I've got, I don't know, like YouTube video. So probably within that YouTube video, there's snippets that you could create into like a YouTube short,
Hmm.
or you could then transfer it over to Instagram and have it as an Instagram reel. There's probably quotes or tips as well from a piece of content. And rather than having like 5 tips, you could just post out 1 tip at a time. and just go more in depth with that information, that one tip, rather than have 5 really short tips. If you've already got content, then yeah, I would be repurposing it as much as possible, whether that's changing format or just splitting it up into different sections.
Yeah, I love repurposing. But how ideally we're able to have a virtual assistant who knows how to do that, or come to someone like you to do it for us. Is that something you do?
No, I don't do any form of social media management. So I am the person who will be able to help you look at your content and help you create a content strategy,
Okay.
help you come up with content ideas, help you, like, if you are wanting to create content for a launch, or maybe you've been posting out consistently and you don't know where you're going wrong. That's where I would
Okay.
come in and help you.
Okay. So where do we find the balance between the strategy and fun?
Well, I like to think a strategy can be lots of fun. I know lots of people think as soon as they hear strategy, they're like, "Oh my God, what? No, I don't need a strategy." Everyone needs a strategy
Mm-hmm.
if they are running a business. The only people who don't need a strategy is people who are literally on social media for fun. Even influencers and paid content creators need to have a strategy for, their account. So bringing the fun into it as well, it's kind of like that's what we want to do by creating content in formats that feel fun to you, rather than forcing yourself to be, oh, I've got to do an Instagram reel today. I hate doing Instagram reels. Well, don't create them.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, Jennifer, you love playing around in Canva. Okay, so let's create graphics
Yeah.
in Canva instead. And that's where the fun, you can express yourself through that. With the strategy as well, it doesn't have to be boring. It can be like, I love this is my strategy of the week. Oh my goodness, I feel really excited. I want to post everything all at once. Like,
Yeah,
that's
I have
how
that
I
problem.
usually feel.
I have that
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. So it's creating the right strategy for you, because I feel really strongly as well, like, a strategy is very much a unique thing to your business. With all my clients, not everyone has the same strategy, because of course we've all got different time constraints, we've all got different personalities, energy levels,
Goals.
likes, dislikes. So it just comes down to doing things your way, but in a way that feels fun and enjoyable to you.
Yeah. Yeah. So for the way I do time management and calendars, I have non-negotiables. So I guess for you, that could be like scheduling the content that needs to be done around launches type kind of thing, and then leaving that flexibility to be able to post when we're extra inspired, or if we do want to just post all at once kind of thing, or use that energy to create a bunch of content and then have it scheduled out. And or what are your
Yeah.
ideas on that?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're one of these people that needs to be in a certain energy or a mindset to create content, then yeah, I would definitely batch it. And if you still feel like you've got more energy, then you can either create more content or maybe come onto your Instagram stories and share some things or go live. Definitely make most of the energy that you have and show up when you're in that energy. And then when you're feeling like your energy is a bit depleted, that's the time where if you want to most hide behind the graphics or the templates, then, photos, then that's absolutely fine as well. But yeah, use that energy to batch and create as much content or captions as you possibly can.
What's the ratio to a promotion call to action versus engagement?
Yeah, so I guess everyone's going to be different, because obviously everyone's business is going to be different. But if you're still trying to get your community together, then I would say at least 70% it's going to be like call to actions where you want people engaging with you, asking questions, or going to download a freebie so people are
Yeah.
getting onto your email list. And then maybe like 20 to 30% is come and sign up for my masterclass or join my course, or you can come and work with me on a one-to-one basis.
Okay. That feels and sounds manageable.
Yeah.
So what is one main takeaway you want everyone to have today?
When it comes to their social media content,
Yes. Or in general.
in general, if you're someone who thinks, gosh, I hate social media, it's probably because you've been taught to do it in a way that doesn't feel right to you. And I want you to rip up the rule book that you have in your head, chuck out the window, those rules no longer exist, free yourself from them, and start creating your own rules and your own boundaries and what feel good for you. But it doesn't mean that, you can get rid of, the basic things, having a plan or having a strategy. That will always be really important, but it can be your own plan, your own strategy that works for you.
Yeah. And that also ties into being child free. Like that's the whole point
Yeah.
is like doing life in a way, in business in a way that feels good and makes sense to you.
Yeah. If it makes sense to you, then it's right.
Because every technique works. It's just what works best for you.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So how can we connect with you?
So I hang out over on Instagram. My account's Business Wonderland. I do sometimes put up pictures of me and my dogs. Like I
Oh,
said, I am
dogs.
obsessed with dogs. So if you have a dog as well, please come and say hi. Tell me all about your dog. Drop a photo of your dog. Or if you've got a cat, I also really like cats. So yes, I want to know everything about your fur baby.
Yes. And I'll put all your links down below also.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's a wrap for today's episode. Huge thanks to Katie for being here. If you enjoyed this episode, hit subscribe, share your thoughts with us in the comments, and send this to a child-free friend. You can connect with me on social media as Productively Child Free. Remember, you're not alone. Until next time, stay amazing and live life your way.